you and for me. For 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 you and for me.
Rose-colored walls. Illusion. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Sean from LiveBandsTouring.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! New Haven's own, the very heady Xray Band!
And this is the search for the Astro Projecto Heady Ale. astro
I
projecto?
heard that if you drink it by the light of the full moon, it'll cure genital warts.
Noah, what have you heard about the astro projecto heady?
I've heard it resets time. It creates multiple times.
Alright.
It appears you have come across the rare Astro Projecto beer. It has been teleported through the cosmos to land here in Connecticut. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to reunite this lone bottle of Astro Projecto with its brothers and sisters in Oregon so that it can rise up, get high, have a good time, and fly all the way back here to Connecticut, to the screaming mobs of crazies and those who want to turbo up and ride the range. Astro Projecto, get yours.
I don't normally drink beer, but after I saw the nice color and the beautiful aroma of Astro Projecto Heady Ale, I knew I had to try a taste. And when I did, it brought me out to the cosmos, further than I've ever gone before. So try Astro Projecto Heady Ale.
So go forth, find it.
Wow, where do I get one of these? Astro Projecto beer.
Astro Projecto.
Awesome.
So we discovered that the Astro Projecto Heady Ale is in Oregon. So I am at JFK International Airport and I'm going to head to Oregon, Portland, Oregon, to try to find the Astro Projecto Heady Ale. So I made it to Portland, Oregon, all the way from JFK International Airport in New York City. And what I realized once I got here to Portland, Oregon, is that I needed to call in some help, some real help to help find Astro Projecto Heady Ale. So what I did was, I called my buddy, Dana Price, my childhood friend, to help me help find Astro Projecto Heady Ale.
Hello, I'm Dana, and this is my lovely wife. And we're very familiar with the greater Portland area, and we've heard some legends about what's called the Astro Projecto Heady Ale. When Sean called and said there was a mission to find this, the roots of this legend, then I was on board immediately. I was like, I know we can really try here. Ooh, he's got a pesto mouth. I got a pesto mouth. There you go. Very good. And that too. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Awesome. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, so we came here to a fine establishment called the Lucky Lab, one of our favorites in Portland. Thinking maybe they had something, they knew something, or at least had a clue. They have some fine food, some really fine beers. I've got a fresh hop ale right here. Andrew has a lovely big dog IPA. Dog day IPA. And I think we're starting to get on the trail of this legend. It's very faint right now, but we've heard there's a band going on right now tonight called the Garcia Birthday Band. We're here with one of the biggest bands in all the Portland area. If anybody knows anything, they might know something about this secret Astro Projecto. So, Andrew, do you have anything to add?
No, I just think we're going to find it.
Good deal. So we're moving up the chain of wheels here to find the path. We figured, Labradors were traditionally very good at using their nose and finding the path. So we started here at the Lucky Labrador Brewery and Pub, so we can find the start of this path to the Astro Projecto.
Okay, wow, we're here with our Astro Projecto meter. It's kind of going off right now. I don't know what's kind of happening, but we're in front of this place called It's the Hangar 924. It says authorized personnel only, and it looks like they either have UFOs or something going on in there. We think maybe there's something going on with the astro projecto behind these doors behind me where it's authorized. So maybe they're making it in there. Maybe that's where they keep the secrets. Maybe that's where they're planning to send this stuff into orbit. We don't really know, but we're going to find out very soon.
So Dana brought us to here, White Eagle, Portland, Oregon, to discover and get some insight on the headiest band in Portland, the Garcia Birthday Band. And maybe, just maybe, through their music, we can get some insight into the astro projecto heady. The boosters to take us up into the galaxy are right there. The boosters are right there. They can take us right into orbit.
Definitely astro heady boosters.
Wow, what an amazing experience I just had. Coming out of McMinnigan's at the White Eagle, seeing the Garcia Birthday Band. Whoa, this is very cosmic and very heady. I really think I'm going to turbo up and ride the range through these cosmic forces of boosters I have behind me. And what this is all is telling me in a heady way through the Garcia Birthday Band and spirit of Jerry Garcia is that something in my head is telling me in a heady way through authorized personnel only that I need to head to Hood River, Oregon.
Okay, so we've arrived here in the beautiful Hood River Valley that you see behind me, all the way from Mount Hood, all the way down the valley, what you can see beyond, where the hills rise up again, is the Columbia River. And this is really what we've honed in on. We have this whole area behind us to find the astro projecto heady. So somewhere around this valley is what our readings have told us where we might find such a deliciously heady, beautiful ale that will take us, rocket us to the moon and maybe back. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is where it's going to be.
Hey Dana, did you bring the map?
No. Oh.
Well, I could use a compass, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to find it with this. It's not heady enough. Maybe the dogs will find it. Come on guys, let's go. Let's go. Is it over here? Is it over here, guys? Oh, I think we might find it. Come on guys, get heady.
It appears the two lucky labs here have found a really strong scent of the astro projecto heady ale. So they're indicating that it might be this direction. So I'm just going to let them fly and see if they can go find. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. See if they can find the astro projecto. It might be behind that bush. We'll see.
Okay, so we found this map, and the dogs led us to right here. And what this is, as we know, the lyrics to Astro's Projecto say raise a sail and catch the wind. So the dogs led us right here to Full Sail Brewery.
Somebody told us the Astro Projecto Amber Ale was made out in this field. We'll soon see. Someone said that Astro Projecto Heady Ale might be made here at the independent Full Sail Tasting Room and Pub. Award-winning brews are made here, so it's a good possibility. Sounds like it might be a good possibility. Astro, 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 Astro. Not there. Ooh, fresh hot Pilsner. Astro, Astro, Astro. Slancha. But no, Astro Projecto Heady Ale.
Alright, so we're at Full Sail, and we got a nice artichoke dip here. Dana is here, and he's got his beer. Which is not the Astro Projecto. Andrea's there, and she's got a beer, but that's not the Astro Projecto. And I got a sampler at the Full Sail Brewing Company, and I wonder if one of these is the Astro Projecto. So let's look. That is a Chris's Summers Light. That is a Big Daddy Jay's Imperial Lager, so that's not it. That is a Pale Ale Pub Exclusive. There's only 3 left. Slancha Stout, a fresh hop Pilsner. I wonder if it's this last one. Could this be the Astro? Is this it? 26 Brewmaster Reserve. Oh man, we got to keep searching. I don't know how we're gonna find this thing.
You know, I don't know how we're ever going to find this thing, Sean. You know, we've been to 22 breweries all over Oregon, from the mountain down to the river, and you know, I thought we were so close, but I just feel like we're lost. I think we should actually give up. Alright, I get it. Wait. Did you hear that? Wait a minute. There's something. I think there's something underneath it. Whoa. I never saw this. What is this? It's like a oh, get over that, I think. Oh. Whoa, it's like a secret little compartment. And look at this. That looks like a meteorite or something, man. That's really heavy. Yeah, feels like lead. But this. Oh, whoa, it's like an ancient recipe. I read about these in this book. It's like from Atlantis or something. That's really amazing. Look what it is. Astro Projecto Heady Ale. Whoa, we found it. You know what this means? Astro Projecto the whole time is right here. Astro Projecto. Okay, so here we are at Thunder Island Brewery, Oregon's newest and smallest brewery, looking for the Astro Projecto heady ale, and I don't know if it's here or not. Things are really changing. So Andrea's got some insight on this.
Yes, we just played a disc golf course. We looked for it there, and I swear, if I had Astro Projecto ale, I would have played a lot better. But I couldn't find it. Instead, I'm drinking a really good porter by Thunder Island Brewery. Very, very yummy. Still not the Astro Projecto.
The smallest and newest brewery in all of Oregon. Astro Projecto. They're not, but a damn good brewery. They are. Very good. Capping. There it is, right there. A full bottle, the really full bottle of the official labeled heady ale. Can't wait to drink the next one, first one.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike Kenichi and welcome to Hometown Heroes.
Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. The colors have never changed. They're blue and gold. Blue, gold. And when a young man puts that on, he should know that Paul Sponheimer is with him.
I went downstairs in the elevator, and I went under the catacombs of the stadium, and I went for the Yankee dugout. And as I was ready to ascend up onto the field, Mickey was coming off, and I introduced myself to him. And I said, "Do you have a few minutes for an interview?" He said, "Yeah, let's go into the press dining room." He checked his watch, and we sat there for 10 minutes, interviewed Mickey Mantle, and one of the highlights of my life.
And it's funny because it was actually halftime, and we were getting the ball. And I was telling the return team in the locker room that I'm feeling good about this second half kickoff here. Let's stay on our blocks. And it just so happened that I was able to get an opening and to break one. And I can remember Frank Pacheco coming up to me afterwards saying, "How did you know?" And you know, you can just feel those moments sometimes because you're prepared.
It's one of those rivalries that you throw out the records. The records mean nothing.
That was an incredible experience to feel as a high school kid because the rivalry was probably at its peak. I don't ever remember playing in front of a crowd of less than 6,000 or 7,000 people.
You know, the field surrounded by 3, 4 people deep along the fence, and you knew you were representing your community and the players that played before you. You know, the game was on the line, and you had to go out and perform, and you really didn't want to let anybody down.
Esonia Derby Week. The Esonia Derby Week is the most intense week of football that anyone can experience. It's sort of like Hell Week in boot camp.
Yeah, I'm Rob Callahan. I grew up around New Haven. I'm in a band called String Band.
Cool.
Going to Toads, probably since I was about 16, back in the late 70s. Or I've been going to Toads since, it's rolling, just let it roll, right? I've been going to Toads since the late 70s. Well, obviously I was going with some older folks who drove. It was summertime, a hot summer night, and they said hop in the car, and I ended up down in New Haven in a line down the street outside this rock club. Really worried that, you know, I was kind of underage, but because I was tall, I was able to get in. And I think the first band I ever saw, there was a band called Eyes, who had a big light show, and they're a big rock band. The place was packed, and it kind of blew my mind. I don't think I could probably say for the camera my most memorable experiences, but I could say that between the girlfriends, the wives, and now my son, who was just down there with me a few months ago, I've been with a lot of special friends and family down there since then, and I think special times, a lot of birthdays down there. I think it's longevity and the fact that it's always gone big. It's always brought out big name acts, so folks are drawn there. So the more folks are drawn there, you end up meeting friends there, and it happens year after year after year, and it becomes that because of its longevity and its high quality music.
So,
Hard to say, but you got to give a lot of kudos to Mike and Jimmy and Brian. It takes a lot to run a rock club, and the people who have worked there over the years have kept it going through tough times, and it's always been the vital place of the community where it's located, and it's just the right size to be a great place to go. First experience was back in the 90s when we had a thing called the street art revolution right around 1990. But then again, more recently in the last few years with the band String Band. And you get nervous when you're going up there for the first time. You've seen everybody from Dylan, the Stones, the Flock of Seagulls, the Go-Go's, Stray Cats. You've seen all these great bands play there. Now you're going to step up on this stage. And the sound is different. It's not like you're playing in a bar in front of the dartboards and the lights and so forth. It's a big sound, and it gets you. It's like the first sensation I got is felt I was playing guitar in a bouncy house. It was just such a big sound up there. It's changed. I'd say it's more stayed the same in a lot of ways. It's always been a rock club, but I think the changes that have gone through at Toads has really had to do with how it dealt with all the different age groups that were allowed in there at different times. I know at one point it was 18 years old, and then there was a few years where it had to be 19 and then 20 as the grandfather clause came through. That's when I was kind of going there at that point. Then the video generation came along. The video generation was probably 10 or more years there where there were video cameras and screens all over that bar, and that was a sort of epoch or era there. Then there was the era of the nets, if you probably, folks will talk about that, when underage people can be on one side and over 21 on another. So I think the changes that have gone on there, I think from my perspective, have really been about how they dealt with the different age groups getting in there to see great music. Concerts at Toads, wow, so many amazing ones, and I'm sure other people you talk to are going to say that too. It's hard to really narrow them down, but some of the funnest shows that I've seen was kind of back in that new wave era, and probably because I was 19, 20 years old at the time, and seeing the Flock of Seagulls there, and the Go-Go's, and Stray Cats, and the Motels and Joe Jackson, and then seeing the classic rock things come through there like Steppenwolf. And I didn't get a chance to see Dylan or the Stones. I was kind of shut out from those, but I hung outside. Dark Star Orchestra's playing there, and that's great, but not quite as amazing as seeing Shakedown there every month. Railroad Earth, another great band that's played there. Roger McGuinn was a very special show for me because I got to go downstairs and hang out with him a little bit downstairs. And you know, if you know Roger McGuinn from the Byrds, that was a pretty big scenario for me. But I'd say those are kind of the bunches of the great shows I saw there. Strangest nights, gosh, I'd probably have to plead the fifth on that one too. There's been a lot of strange nights at Toad's Place, but probably being involved with being thrown out a few times when I was a little crazier was probably up there amongst the strange. I can't say I've been all over the country and seen them all, but I talk to people in the industry and the name keeps coming up. So really, what makes it stand out? The name. Toad's Place. It is. It's one of the big rock clubs on the East Coast. Shakedown, the fact that it's all ages at Toad's Place, all ages at Toad's Place, and it's the music of the Grateful Dead, and there's nothing more that can be said other than that. And those guys are great musicians, and they've been at it 20 years. So the fact that they've been at it that long, there's young and old. I saw Shakedown in 1988. There's folks seeing Shakedown for the first time this year. The family keeps coming. Sometimes we fade out, but we don't fade away. We keep coming back at different times, and sometimes we don't see them for a few years, but they've been a constant. So when you want good old Grateful Dead and you look in the newspaper, Shakedown's playing, you know what you're going to get. And if it's at Toad's, you know it's going to be big. The sound system's going to be awesome. The lights are going to be great. It's totally pro there, and the people come because it feels good there. And it's all ages, and it's great where young and old Deadheads can all dance together and keep that vibe going. Well, the scene that goes to Shakedown is a scene we've always known from going to see many Grateful Dead shows through the years. Seeing the Grateful Dead since the 70s, and the scene is as much as the music is. It's always been that way. The scene has been as much as the music. As beautiful and as amazing the music's always been, it's always been about the scene. And I think when people come to see Shakedown and they go to see Further, the other ones in the Grateful Dead, they're contributing to that scene. So they know it's part of their job to amplify and be up there as high as the music one way or another, and make it a good scene. Well, I'm glad you say that, because every once in a while something happens at the rock club and it gets in the newspaper. But overall, if it wasn't for Toad's, I think that whole area of Broadway and York Street wouldn't be what it is without Toad's Place. So the town, the city, the town fathers, everybody has Toad's, and Mike, Lord mercy on him, and Brian and Jimmy and the whole crew there. There's a lot of benefit that's come to the city, and like I said, I don't think that whole neighborhood would have grown the way it is. And to tell you the truth, I don't think Crown Street would have grown, that whole scene down there, if it wasn't for Toad's Place as well. Gosh, you know, being an older guy playing in a band there, it's great fun. Toad, you're playing in front of 500 people. Anyone who's in a band knows the difference between playing between 20 or 40 people in a bar and 500 people that's listening and grooving. If you're a musician, there's nothing like that energy, and it's why we keep doing it. I think we all, as far as a local music scene coming out of Toad's, a lot of the bands, and that's starting to develop more over the last few years, I'd say, at Toad's, because the way Dave Frankel is really cultivating those bands as openers, it's really creating a broader community that we all kind of know each other, and we all take turns opening for Shakedown. And what's good coming out of it, now there's going to be a festival that's coming about in Connecticut that's going to take all those bands and really help the jam band world anyway shine in Connecticut and hopefully throughout New England.
Sure, my name's Sean Morse. I worked at Toad's from about October of 2003 till about, I guess it was August of 2004. It was a lot of fun. It was my first job in the industry, and it allowed me to see the entertainment business and Toad's from a different light. It was really a good experience. I was a bar back to start, but as the months went on there, and they realized I was a really responsible person, they kind of relied on me for a lot of different things, and that's kind of what the bar backs do at Toast. They do pretty much everything that they could get them to do. So, I mean, I would do anything from hospitality for the bands to buy them food and all that, to working in the office selling tickets and a whole mess of other things. So.
What kind of shows did you see there?
I mean, I saw when I was working there, or yeah.
Or just in general too.
In general, I mean, I saw a lot of good shows there over the years. I've been going there probably about 15, almost 20 years now. But some of the more memorable ones were like Ziggy Marley. You know, the Shakedown ones are always great. I love going to the Shakedown shows. So many good memories there that were really good. You know, especially today, the way the economy is, you know, I've worked for like Live Nation and a lot of the bigger venues. The smaller venues are really where it's at. So in today's economy and the way things are in the music business right now, the small venues are where it's at. And to have a small venue from like the business side of things, it's easier to sell those venues out, and your profit margins are lower and your expenses are lower. So it's easier to make money with less kind of overhead and things like that. So they really have an edge that way. And as a smaller venue that's been around since the 70s, that has the name and the big names that particularly came in there, like when Mike Sponnerdale was involved in the 70s and the 80s, like they have that history that everyone knows, oh, they get really good acts that come there. So they have that edge.